Hello! It's New Year's Eve, last day of 2021, so it must be time to film my 2022 January TBR. So I decided for a while, like my TBR game is going to be, it has been and it's probably going to be kind of a mess. For a while I was going really strong with my own deck of TBR cards, and then I just wanted to mix it up, pay tribute to some of the fun TBR games I see on YouTube, and now I'm in this mode where I'm like, I don't want to just do cards, I want to do a game, so I'm going to pick one that I haven't played since last August 2021, and that is G's TBR Avatar. So I am going to also do something a little bit new for this year, because I have a ridiculous amount of books that I own but haven't read. It's a sickness, really. I am going to do 5 roles that are required. Okay, 5 prompts, whatever. And then an extra 5 bonus. And if I read all of those 10, only then may I purchase a new book. And I haven't decided if it's just going to be one or a couple, I don't know. But I'm still going to continue with my book subscription boxes, Owlcrate and Fairy Loot, so I'll still get a couple of new books arriving through that, and I feel like that will help me like not spend as much, because I'm going to really have to work to get like those 10 in. Unless I read like I have been this month, which has been kind of insane, but we'll get back to that later. Alright, so we're going to jump into the game, and here we go. We're ready to roll. Ron is in the place where I left off the last time I played TBR Avatar. I think I just bumped the camera, so sorry. Also want to apologize for the glare. This board is laminated because I thought it would be more sturdy that way, which of course it is, but then it also bounces off every single possible light source in any room in the house. So here we go. Roll number 1. 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we're starting off with a blank circle, which means we draw a card. I have G's cards here. She was kind enough to like make them available to print and download, and I did download and print and all that stuff. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. They're here. And our first pick is ZHAO. Is that how you say that? ZHAO. A book written by an author whose name starts with an Z or H. Starts with a Z or an H. Alright, so role number 1 brought us to ZHAO, an author's name that starts with a Z or an H, and for this I'm going to be reading The Last Cuentista by Donna Barba Higuera. Higuera starts with an H. Okay, let's take a look at the cover, and I will read the synopsis for you. Había una vez, just kidding, we won't read it in Spanish, a girl named Petra Peña who wanted nothing more than to be a storyteller like her abuelita. But Petra's world is ending. Earth has been destroyed by a comet, and only a few hundred scientists and their children, among them Petra and her family, have been chosen to journey to a new planet. They are the ones who must carry on the human race. Hundreds of years later, Petra wakes to this new planet in the discovery that she is the only person who remembers Earth. A sinister collective has taken over the ship during its journey, bent on erasing the sins of humanity's past. They have systematically purged the memories of all aboard, or purged them altogether. Petra alone now carries the stories of our past, and with them any hope for our future. Can she make them live again? So science fiction plus like maybe a little bit of a thriller, conspiracy situation. This sounds like it'll be a good one. And roll number 2, we have 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right there. Okay, so this symbol is just the end of the secret tunnel from that one, so we don't really do anything here in terms of special book actions, we just draw a card. Let's see. Waterbending Scroll, read a paperback book. Okay. And number 2 brought us the Waterbending Scroll, which is to read a paperback book. And for that, I am going to be reading one that has been recommended by Gavin and is also the middle grade monthly book pick, this month, I believe. I think Jade said that in her video for January. Anyway, The Hat Makers by Tamsin Merchant. This is something that I've heard Gavin talking about a couple of times, and I've just been kind of eyeing it, so I did pick it up. It says, Cordelia Hatmaker comes from a long line of magical milliners who weave enchantments into every hat they make. In Cordelia's world, the ancient art of making craft items from magical ingredients is a rare skill, and only a few maker families remain. When Cordelia's father is lost at sea, she is determined to find him, but then an ancient rivalry between maker families threatens to surface, and Cordelia worries that someone is using maker magic to start a war. Can Cordelia rescue her father and uncover the truth before it's too late? Roll number 3. 3 spaces. 1, 2, 3. I can't see that far away, so I'm going to have to pick up the board. Alright, so that is a Pebble Attack, and it is read a book under 200 pages. Ooh, I like that one. Number 3 brought us Pebble Attack under 200 pages. I could find one book on my shelves under 200 pages, so lucky me, I guess. But it is Chlorine Sky by Mahogany L. Brown. There might be a couple here that I missed while scouring the shelves, but this is the one that I found. This is a verse book, so it's going to read quickly. See, very little text on the page. This is about a girl who is struggling with a friendship or former friendship, and it is a lot of like relationship, friendship kind of drama things. There's not really a synopsis in the dust jacket. There's just a passage, so I guess I'll read that to you. It says, she looks me hard in my eyes and my knees lock into tree trunks. My eyes don't dance like my heartbeat racing. They stare straight back, hot daggers. I remember things will never be the same. I remember things. So it's kind of like growing up, growing apart from your best friend kind of things. And we'll find out more when we read it. Roll number 4. 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A blank. Here's a card. Fire Nation. Word fire in the title or fire on the cover. Perfect! That's perfect. Number 4 gave us Fire Nation, a book that has fire in the title or on the cover. And I was really excited about this one because I just finished rereading Graceling. I actually read the graphic novel and reread it via audiobook. And I really just want to jump right into the next book, which is called Fire and has fire on it. This is a series by Kristen Cashore. It's been out for quite a while. There are 4 books in the series. The 4th one came out not too long ago, and I just never have gotten through it. So yay for moving onward in a series. I guess if I could tell you a little bit about Graceling. It is about a girl named Casta who is graced, meaning she has a special power or gift, and her gift is for killing. And one day she meets this boy named Poe, who's also graced. He's graced for fighting, and his grandfather was kidnapped, but luckily was rescued, coincidentally, by Casta. And Casta and Poe set out on a journey to find out who's responsible, which one of the kings of the neighboring kingdoms was behind the kidnapping, what they're trying to achieve and accomplish. And along the way, they end up picking up a companion in their journey, a young girl named Bitterblue. And there are plot twists, there's romance, there's sexy times between Casta and Poe. Should just tell you that right now. But yeah, it's a really good fantasy series, or at least the first one was really good, and so I'm excited to continue that series. Roll number 5. 2. 1, 2. Cabbage Pot. Number 5 brought us Cabbage Pot. So G has a pot that's like looks like a little head of cabbage, hence the name Cabbage Pot, and she's got all of her like TBR books in there. I have an ever so fancy Ziploc bag labeled Cabbage Pot. See, this is part of the problem. I have so many books that I haven't read. Now, some of these are series, so if I draw one that's, say, number 3 in a series and I haven't read the first one, I'll pick the first one. Also, while I was cutting these up, I noticed some had popped up that I had already read, and I tried to sort those out, but if one accidentally got in here and there was a mistake, whatever, I'll redraw. But enough procrastinating. I am slightly scared, and we're just going to go for this. So we'll give it a good mix and pick one out. How deep is your love? How deep is your love? I really need to know. Oh, this is funny. I was thinking, what... there were, as I was making this giant bag of books, I was thinking, what would be the odds that I would pull out an adult book? And sure enough, I did. This is Dr. Strangebeard, which is number 5 in the Winston Brothers series by Penny Reed. Okay, so coincidentally, number 5 is where I am continuing the series. I've read the first 4. This is an adult romance series about some brothers called the Winston Brothers, and they all are very beardy. So all of the titles have a beard in them. And this one is about Roscoe. Okay, 10 years after Simone Peyton broke his heart, all Roscoe Winston wants is a donut. He'd also like to forget her entirely, but that's never going to happen. Roscoe remembers everything, every look, every word, every single unrequited second, and the last thing he needs is another memory of Simone. Unfortunately, after one chance encounter, Simone keeps popping up everywhere he happens to be. 10 years after Roscoe Winston dropped out of her life, all Simone Peyton wants is to exploit him. She'd also like some answers from her former best friend about why he ghosted her, but if she never gets those answers, that's a-okay. Simone let go of the past a long time ago. Seriously, she has. She's totally has. She's definitely not still thinking about Roscoe. Nope, she's more than happy to forget he exists. But first, she needs just one teeny tiny favor. So if you haven't read the Winston Brothers series, and again, these are written for adults, so for adults to read. They're a fun, like, rom-com-y series, and like I said, each one centers around a particular brother in this family. They are pretty funny, but again, the humor is very much written for adults as well as the sexy times parts. So that's what that is. Okay, now we're moving on to those bonus rolls to see if I can earn myself a little reward. 1, 2, 3. What does that say? Bending scroll. Alright, according to G's instructions, a bending scroll is get to treat yourself and buy a book from your wish list and read it. But if you don't want to buy books, you can go with a different prompt altogether. Since my reward is going to be around buying books and that kind of thing, and I've certainly spent a lot of money on books recently, I think I'm just going to pull a card for this roll rather than go buy something just because the game told me to. I know, who am I? Alright, so we're going to pick a card, and we got the Blue Spirit, read a blue book. Okay, so up next we have the Blue Spirit, read a blue book, and this is the beginning of the bonus book. So these are ones I don't have to read, but I can earn myself like good karma towards book incentives through reading these. So for the blue book, I picked Where the Mountain Meets the Moon by Grace Lynn. This is a Newbery Honor book from quite a while ago, and I keep hearing Gavin from How to Train Your Gavin talk about it a lot, and some other people, and I just like, you know what, I need to read this so I know what they're talking about. This is young Min Lee lives in the valley of Fruitless Mountain, where she and her parents spend their days working hard in the fields. At night, Min Lee listens to her father's tales about the Old Man of the Moon, who knows the answers to everything. Min Lee sets out on a quest to find the Old Man of the Moon. He will know how she can bring good fortune to her family. Along the way, she meets many magical friends, including a talking fish, a powerful king, and a dragon who can't fly. Roll number 7. 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, plus 4. And so you move forward 4 steps. 1, 2, 3, 4. Team Avatar. Okay, so for this one, you're going to ask a friend or family member to pick a read for you. Number 7 is Team Avatar. Ask a friend or family member to pick a read for you. And I asked a friend of mine, Andrea, if she would pick a book for me, and she chose 14 Ways to Die by Vincent Ralph. 1 killer, 13 victims, a million views. You have to murder at least 3 people to be called a serial killer. The Magpie Man is looking for his 14th victim. When Jess was 7, her mother was murdered by the Magpie Man. She was the first of his victims, but not the last. 10 years later, the killer is still at large, and Jess applies to appear on an internet reality show in which she'll be filmed once a week for a whole day. All her social media, every text, and all personal interaction will be seen by viewers. She knows this is her chance to remind the public of what she has lost and to finally find the vital clue that will lead to her mother's killer. When the show starts airing, Jess becomes public property, And her life is an open book just waiting to be read. Then the anonymous text messages start, and Jess begins to realize that the Magpie Man is watching her every move. Told in short, intense chapters, Jess' story is about risking everything to uncover a killer before he can strike again, even if she might be his next victim. I like the short chapter thing. I'm very much a fan of short chapters. Helps you get through the book quicker, in my opinion. Rule number 8. 2. 1, 2. Another card. Momo. Let Momo pick your next read. Momo is G's cat. I don't have a cat. I don't have a pet, so we're going to set that card back into the pile. So we're going to pick another card, and it is Southern Water Tribe, book with snow on the cover or a white cover. Number 8 brought us the Southern Water Tribe, a book with snow on the cover or a white cover. Well, this is going to be a stretch. I couldn't find any books with snow on the cover that I hadn't already read, and white covers I was also struggling with, so I know that you're going, but Rule of Wolves is like literally right over your shoulder, but I can't read that one yet because reasons. So I picked a book that has big white letters on it and a big white mask, and that is Phantom Heart by Kelly Creech. This is a chunker. What was I thinking? Okay, 17-year-old Stephanie Armand doesn't believe in ghosts or spirits. Despite the rumors at school and her little sister insisting a masked figure is hiding in her closet, Stephanie isn't convinced her father's latest renovation project, a crumbling Victorian mansion called Moldavia, houses the soul of a monster. But when the very charming and paranormal-obsessed Lucas Cheney takes an interest in both Stephanie and her notorious home, the supernatural and romantic activity escalates to an all-time high. And then there's Eric, the mysterious, dashing boy with the British accent who's taken up residence in Stephanie's nightly dreams. A boy who may have something to do with the man in the mask and the strange occurrences taking place within the walls of Moldavia. He's here, the Phantom of the Opera. Roll number 9. 2. Sneak peek. That is where I get to watch a TBR video from a YouTuber and choose one of the books that they're reading to read myself.
Hey guys, for some reason I forgot to film this part, and so then when I went back to refilm it, I guess I didn't turn the microphone back on. I don't know what's wrong with my brain, and also apologies for my wrinkled shirt. What the heck's going on? It's a pajama day. Anyway, what I'm telling you is that for book number 9, I went and watched Steph from Steph Loves TBR for the month of January, and she is reading Boyfriend material by Alexis Hall as one of her choices, and I was able to get the audiobook from my state library on the online audiobook system. So this is a book about Luke O'Donnell, who's kind of reluctantly famous because his father is a rock star and his dad's like trying to make a comeback, and Luke is in the public eye, but a compromising photo has ruined his reputation. So in order to clean up his image, he's looking for a very nice, normal relationship, and Oliver Blackwood is the perfect candidate. He's a barrister, an ethical vegetarian, and he's never been scandalous in his life. So the two decide to fake date and be public boyfriends until the dust has settled from Luke's scandal. But the thing about fake dating is that it sometimes feels like real dating, and that's when you get used to someone and start falling for them and don't ever want to let them go. So it is a fake dating trope, and we always love those, no matter how many times we read them.
And last roll, roll number 10. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, that brings us to another blank. And our card is Suki. Read a book with sprayed edges. I have a couple of those. And number 10, our last one, we got Suki, a book with sprayed edges. So for this one, I chose The Prison Healer by Lynette Noni. It has purple sprayed edges on the top and bottom, and then a purple stencil with a keyhole here. This, we learn, is kind of intense. Here at Zelindov, the only person you can trust is yourself. 17-year-old Kiva Meriden is a survivor. For 10 years, she has worked as a healer in the notorious death prison Zelindov, making herself indispensable. Kept afloat by messages of hope from her family, Kiva has one goal and one goal only: stay alive. Then one day, the infamous Rebel Queen arrives at the prison on death's door, and Kiva receives a new message: don't let her die, we are coming. The Queen is sentenced to the trial by ordeal, a series of elemental challenges against the torments of air, fire, water, and earth assigned to only most dangerous of criminals. Aware the sickly queen has little chance of making it through the trials alive, Kiva volunteers to take her place. If she succeeds, both she and the queen will be granted their freedom, but no one has ever survived. And with an incurable plague sweeping in Zelendov, a mysterious new inmate fighting for Kiva's heart, and a prison rebellion brewing, Kiva can't escape the terrible feeling that her trials have only just begun. So there we go, The Prison Healer by Lynette Noni, who is an Australian author. Fun. Alright, so that is my January TBR. Again, the first 5 are official, the second 5 are bonus, and I'll let you know how it goes and if I earned an incentive and what I decided that incentive would be. So for now, hope you all are doing well and you're ready to start off 2022 with a bang. You guys have a wonderful, magical, and bookish day. Happy reading. Adios.